Hello, beautiful tribe, and welcome to Magic Month of February in what might be the most exciting year of our lives. Like, the more I understand about 25 astrologically and energetically, the more I'm like, oh my gosh, this is going to be amazing. And huge. It is like put your safety helmets on, people. And um, happy Imbolc for those of you in the Northern Hemisphere. And also, um, welcome to the year of the snake. And I was doing a sunrise ceremony with two friends this morning, and I am excited to share a similar activation that we did this morning because it was so helpful. And so we'll do that at the end of the forecast. But welcome to Magic Month of February. If you've never met me before, my name is Karila and I am from Starlight Temple. And this webinar is an energy forecast that gives you insight into the month ahead, astrologically, energetically, whatever guidance is coming through, so that you can use the information to align and understand the process that you are part of and that you are in, and also um, know the best times to heal, to manifest, and basically have the most magical month that you can. And Magic Month is always really, really, really helpful to me. I'm very, very grateful for this time to be able to tune in and understand and feel in to the month, but also in the case of this Magic Month episode, the year, because even though we tuned in last Magic Month to this all important year in our collective evolution and ascension, for me, I have been saying on Magic Month for years that actually you don't really get into the year until February and Imbolc and the year of the snake in the Chinese calendar. And so this is really the beginning of what is astrologically one of the rarest things anybody can ever live through. What has been channeled to be really, really, really a year that is death and rebirth and transformation on the physical level. And what is also an initiation, and I think that's what's really important to understand about the year of the snake. The year of the snake is a year when it's a year when cycles die and are reborn or renewed, and therefore it is an initiation. And it's incredibly moving for me to connect back in my life to the last year of the snake, which was 2013. And when I did realize that 2013 was the last year of the snake, that's when my path as a land worker was initiated. That's when the path that I'm walking now really came into action and began its training. And I held the first ever land work journey. And you know, when I think of who I was back then and what was started as a seed then and what it's become since then, it's really truly incredible what starts in the year of the snake, you know, what gets initiated in the year of the snake. And very much the snake is, she's the mystery, she's the magic, she's the feminine. She what happens in the mystery is what gets served this year, you know, like fortune favors the mystery in the year of the snake. And so it's not really about having massive plans or having the great vision of how all of this is going to change. It's about surrendering to the magic. It's about flowing into the mystery. It's about remembering that fortune favors the mystery. It's about trusting the divine feminine and about trusting Mother Earth. And also letting go of, or at least being willing to let go of everything that isn't your soul's choice and your soul's calling and your soul's purpose. And in many ways, it's a moment of conception. You know, the year of the snake is about being in the right place at the right time for the new cycle to be conceived. And so it is very much a year of being intuitive and letting your destiny lead. And in many ways, trusting that the divine is happening, the divine plan is happening, in spite of whatever needs to be shedded or transformed or alchemized or abandoned for that divine plan. And one of the things that I will say is incredibly important to understand about the year of the snake is that snakes are highly, we did it in the Life Force Cafe this month. We had Gareth, who's the shaman that holds the medicine wheel, come in, and he was talking about the serpent who overlights the south of the medicine wheel. And he was saying that, you know, the archetype of the snake or the wisdom of the snake is that you're highly, highly sensitive. You know, a snake feels every single vibration. The snake knows exactly what is happening because the whole point of the sensitivity of the snake is you cannot ignore what isn't for you anymore. You cannot ignore what isn't true. You cannot ignore the power of everything that's happening around you because you're sensitive to it. And that is what means you align, because you're too sensitive to it not to be able to see very clearly and feel very clearly what is right and what is wrong for you. And yet at the same time, he was saying that snakes don't really have any emotion. So they don't have any attachment. They just, if something's wrong for them, if they sense danger, if they sense if they sense anything that is out of alignment for them, they just move away from it. They're just like, no, I'm going over here. So there is this archetype running through this year that is about being highly sensitive, but very undramatic with that sensitivity. It's almost like, oh, this isn't right for me. Okay, where am I going? Probably into the mystery. Because that's also what the initiation is about, is can you show up and surrender to the mystery? Can you leave what you know because it's not vibrationally aligned for you anymore, and go into the mystery and trust that in the mystery you will meet your destiny. And so it's a very, very sacred and powerful year. And it even more so because every year of the snake, a cycle gets rebirthed. And normally those are personal path cycles or collective cycles. But this year, and this is where the channeling meets the astrology, meets their energetics. This year, the cycle that ends, that dies, that comes to completion, isn't just any old cycle. It is the end of a collective karmic cycle that humans have been on for something like 26,000 years. Like this year, our karmic journey that we as a collective, as the human soul collective, chose to go on, to bring ourselves back into alignment after falling out of alignment, comes to an end. And that karmic end is really close to us. Like the 0 point of it, the end of it, is the eclipse window that is coming in March. And so we are in literally the last breath of a karmic wheel turning that has taken so many lifetimes and that belongs to the entire human collective soul. And we are in the last breath of it now. And that karmic cycle ending, that 0 point, is the end of the karmic journey that we all had to live, that we all took the weight of the burden of the realignment process of, and lived in every possible way you can. And the karmic journey was to do with our voice being separated from our life force energy. It was to do with essentially the ability to lie, and to lie to ourselves and to lie to each other. And as that karmic journey ends, I believe what we're going to see is the life force leaving that which belongs to distortion, that which is described as the matrix, that which is rooted in manipulation. And literally the day after this eclipse window, that is, according to spirit, the 0 point, the end of the karmic journey, literally the next day, the planets start the next bit of the planetary change, that is every single outer planet changing signs within the shortest period of time that we have ever had in astrology. Every single planet that is known as the gods of change, because if one of them changes, you expect massive global change. And every single planet known as the god of change is changing signs within less than a year. Pluto has already changed. But then what happens is literally you have this like landslide of the other three over between March and July. And that in a way is like the birth canal into the new earth, where we don't create out of lying anymore. We create out of aligning rather than lying. And so every little inch of us right now is meeting the places where we lie, whether it's to ourselves or to each other. Every single person on earth being smacked in the face with the last dregs of their personal karmic weight of this collective journey that we've been on. And February, in a way, January was the inner vibration of that lying no longer being rooted. And February, it's a breakthrough. It's like you just stop. You break out of old patterns. You reconnect to your soul. You let go of attachments. You arrive at the end of this journey that is destined. And so it's huge. I don't think on any, I mean, it's not as huge as March and then the months that come. But like February, really, it's the last cleanse, you know, it's the last breath. And so and it's beautiful. It doesn't feel hard. Actually, February has this really heart, soul, out of attachment, into purpose, expansive, clarifying, forward moving energy in a very beautiful way. It is also going to be emotional, but there's some incredible jewels happening astrologically and energetically, and major shift in really quite beautiful ways. And so let's have a look at the forecast, but first let's just have a tune in. So when you're ready, closing your eyes, giving yourself permission to soften, giving yourself permission to settle into this now. Allowing your breath to be its full range. So that you breathe in fully and you breathe out fully. Breathing into all of the muscles that are tired or tense. And breathing out through the infinite space that exists between yourselves, allowing yourself to be aware of how spacious and possible you are. And connecting to how precious this moment, the last breath of a dying karmic cycle, is, and allowing yourself to have a few breaths of reverence for this cycle. For humanity's journey of separation consciousness. And because we're interconnected to all that is, the only place that separation could really exist was between you and your truth. And this is the last few weeks of that being a lived experience. And in many ways, the great beauty at the end of this journey is that separation is space. And space is where the soul resides. And so as the separation stops existing, the soul is coming into the space that the separation created. The embodiment of who we truly are begins. And with this in mind, I invite you to connect to the energy of February. Twenty 2025. And take a few breaths to observe how the energy of this month is affecting you. What is it doing to your body? And your heart? And your mind? And when you are ready, breathing in love and breathing out gratitude, and opening your eyes, and if you're listening live, sharing about what does February 25 feel like to you. I agree, it's very light. It feels somehow ethereal, right? Or that's how it feels to me. And unstoppable. And so now you've had that energetic impression. I love it. Unavoidable and desirable alignment. A bit like death is unavoidable, you know? Yeah. And it's quiet as well. It when I was tuning in, I was like, it feels like a really beautiful death. Or maybe even, you know, when somebody has died and their body's still there, and it maybe even their spirit's still there, but there's just that quietness in the, it's like there's something also gone. And that to me is what this month feels like. And there's just the reverence and the respect and the new beginning. And so let's have a look at the astrology and see, and then we'll come back to this year of the snake thing at the very end, because it's really helpful. And so the first of the month, yesterday, at the time of recording, we have Imbolc in the northern hemisphere, and Mabon in the southern hemisphere. And Imbolc is very much about, it's when the buds break. It's when the buds break through the old, you know, it's about breaking. And in a way, Mabon is about the autumn breaking, you know? And so it's about the moment the season twists into something new. And at the same time, we have Venus conjunct Neptune in Pisces. And, you know, Venus is heart, Neptune is dreams and illusions and the liminal. And Pisces is, in many ways, it's the soulscape. And so, these Venus conjunct with Neptune in Pisces is just like completely expansive of consciousness. It is like the consciousness of the soul. It is like no form, nothing but intuition and the divine and poetry and expansiveness, and also endings, because Pisces is the end of the cycle. And in many ways it's like the end of the cycle of dreams and heart and everything, for the new to break in. And so this is what the month starts with. And this is it's always really important to know what's happening at the start of the month, because that sets the flavor for the month. It sets the main tone for the month. And really, that combination is about giving over to the soul. It's about expanding, or letting the soul break through the BS. Letting the poetry of the soul break through the BS of the limits and limitations. And so that's the message at the beginning of the month. And I feel like we're going to be in that in the next 4 days, 3 days. Because then February 4th is so significant. February 4th, we have Jupiter going direct in Gemini. And Jupiter is the planet of abundance and path and expansion. And Jupiter has been in retrograde since October. And in Gemini, that's very much about communication, us having to go inwards to hear ourselves, us having to meet the conflicts between the spiritual and the physical within us having to examine the way we relate and communicate. And then on the 4th of February, Jupiter is going direct. And so finally, we'll start to feel, and this is very much what February is doing, is I don't know if you guys have been feeling it, but there's been so much inward stillness, inaction, indecision, energy. And what we're going to feel come February 4th and onwards is this forward motion. Some of you are tuning into it in the field. It's like, whoa, suddenly we've caught a current, we've caught a wind. We're better able to communicate, and in many ways command. Jupiter in Gemini is also about the ability to command the next level, to ask for our needs and have them met, to set our boundaries really, really clearly. And at the same time, if that wasn't enough of a push, at the same time, we have Venus in Aries. So Venus moves into Aries on the same day that Jupiter goes direct. And, Venus in Aries is about leadership and Venus is heart. So Jupiter going direct at the same time this is happening, this is about heart-led action, heart-led communication, heart-led abundance, heart-led path, being super fired up at the start of February. That's the direction to go in. But it's also, Aries is about moving forward. And this is also relevant because we have Venus, Venus has already moved into her shadow period before her retrograde. And Venus retrograde, which is coming up for the 0 point moment, is, in my opinion, the hardest of all the retrogrades. So a retrograde is when a planet goes the opposite way in the sky. And so what that planet is usually about then becomes an internal thing. And Venus retrograde really makes us look at the way we are loving each other and loving ourselves. Because the greatest, and I'm just speaking from the field here, but the greatest scar of separation consciousness is the scar of the unloved self. And this is the actual, the Venus retrograde is the final healing of that karmic journey. The scar of the unloved self, of being separated from self, whew, is the final healing of that journey. And so what's going to happen in February, because the beginning of the month kind of sets the ball rolling, like whatever happens in the month is everything that February is about, is the last attachments, contractions, resistances that are stopping us from being soul-led start to move, start to shift. And then it gets more beautiful. On the 7th of February, we have one of the most important transits of this month, which I love it. One astrologer described it as, this transit is the big Trojan horse hidden in a mystery cloud, or an elusive white rabbit pulled from a magician's hat. What we have is the North Node conjunct with Neptune. And the North Node is destiny, and Neptune is dreams. And the North Node is about major turning point, karmic development, new pathways. And Neptune is the energy of, like, I have this dream, it's like this is what Neptune in a way is like the one that's closest to the soul. And so this is an amazing day to be in ceremony, the 7th of February. Receive codes, journal about what you actually want, like be in the ceremony, connect to not just your higher self, but your soul, because this is one of those compass moments on this amazing year that we're living, where it's like, in a way, this is the moment, I believe, that the compass of what we are initiating into gets set. And so this first 7 days of the month, really connect to what does your soul want to do next? What initiation do you want to call in the year of the snake? What do you want to initiate? And then let the compass be set on the 7th of February. What's your purpose going to be? What's your soul going to pull out the magician's hat in this magical year that serves the mystery? And then on the 9th, straight after that, we have the sun conjunct Mercury in Aquarius. And the sun is truth and Mercury is communication. And so the skies are saying it. You know, once we get to the middle of the month, that what the skies start to say is all about what the medicine is. And the medicine, the north node, the alignment of your soul's purpose and your soul's destiny is clear communication of your truth. Because every time we express our truth clearly, the old karma is not in existence. The old karma of not being true to ourselves because of having separation between ourself and our truth isn't there. And that's what the sky is saying. That's what the energy is saying. That's why this month feels so luminous, because it's like we start to illuminate with our truth if we choose it. It's just a very, very good time to choose it, because if we don't choose it, then we're choosing to go on the karmic cycle again. And I don't mean that in a way of being afraid of it. It's like, if you're alive today, you can choose not to do that anymore. And then on the 12th, we have the Leo full moon. And this is going to be a big old healing moon. Have a lot of energy from Chiron, the winded healer, under this moon. And really, I would say whatever's coming up to be healed under this moon needs to be met with kindness and compassion and made comfortable. In a way, what's coming through the field is that everything in February is about, if you imagine what it's like when someone is dying, the main thing is just to make them as comfortable and as peaceful as possible. And so treating the wounds that are coming up not as something that needs to be healed, but as something that needs to be made comfortable and treated as soul, treated as love. So that they can let go. And it is such a powerful moon for letting go, this moon. That's the aim of the game. And there's this incredible illumination around the middle of the month, and there's a massive rawness with that as well. And then on Valentine's Day, on the 14th of February, also the medicine, Mercury. So everything in the medicine part of the month is all about communication because of the karmic cycle. Everything is all about communication. And so Mercury enters Pisces on Valentine's Day. And you know, Mercury will be leaving Aquarius to enter Pisces, and Mercury in Aquarius in many ways is innovative and exciting and objective, but it's so perfect for Valentine's Day because Mercury in Pisces is just romantic and compassionate and poetic and emotional. Um, and it's about intuition rather than analytical mind or logic. And I feel like there's also a healing happening around Valentine's Day. From what I'm understanding from the land, is it's like the moon, the full moon, and then the 14th of February up to the 16th when Venus gets to her brightest. There's this opportunity to come out of hypervigilance and out of the hypervigilance we have around love, around giving it, around receiving it, around expressing it. Because in many ways, the greatest wound of separation consciousness is our, our inability to express love fully to each other and to ourselves. And so part of getting ready for the Venus retrograde under the Venus peak is, and under this very healing moon and with this Mercury shift is to stop being so hyper vigilant around whether love is safe or not, and really let the romance of the soul for life and for humanity flow through. And then as we do that, we enter Pisces, and Pisces is obviously Pisces season, and Pisces is the last of the zodiac, it's the end. So, you know, the timing of this karmic death happening in the like the last breath of it is happening in Pisces. That is completion and end and wholeness and sensitivity and spirituality. And then, if it didn't get more ethereal, we, on the 22nd to the 24th of February, we have formal halt, which I never know how to say, gateway. A formal halt is one of the four royal stars, and I love the royal stars. I've done many like transmissions and activations during them at the gateways of the royal stars, and you know the gateways of the royal stars, they are the easiest time to connect to our soul. And it's interesting because, you know, the final royal star gateway of this karmic cycle is a Fomalhaut gateway, and Fomalhaut is the star that is known as kind of the loneliest one. And it's about uniqueness and sovereignty and celebrating who you truly are. It's also about transformation and endings that pave the way for new beginnings. And I have a feeling that this gateway, and I will do something for it and join my mailing list to find out what, because I don't know what yet, but I will do something for it. I have a feeling that this gateway is the healing on the loneliness shadow. It is the healing on the part of separation consciousness that tries so hard not to be lonely. And that healing is so important as a medicine of compassion for this cycle. So again, it's a really powerful time to heal, and all of the healing this month doesn't necessarily feel like you have to go and do loads and loads and loads of healing. It feels more like it's just gonna happen through you and happen to you, and a bit like death happens. It's not like something that you have to actively do. It's more something to surrender into every feeling of it. And right in the middle, it's so beautiful, right in the middle of the formal heart gateway on the 23rd of February, Mars goes direct in Cancer. So we are coming to the completion of a journey that started in October. And, Mars went retrograde in October in Cancer. And, again, there's this energy of moving forward finally, because when Mars is in retrograde, Mars is the warrior energy. It's the energy we that motivates us. So when it's in retrograde, we're feeling very, very unmotivated and very like stagnant. And when it moves forward and goes direct, we have this like surge of energy. And I feel like this is a surge out of loneliness, out of that deep, deep collective wound of loneliness that so many humans suffer with or are afraid of. And are doing things in a way, when I'm connecting to what this last karmic breath is about, it's about stopping doing the things you're doing in order not to feel lonely, rather than because of love. Because when we do something not to feel something, that isn't our greatest alignment. It isn't our soul. It isn't our highest form of manifestation. It belongs to the realm of separation. And so, and Mars is also going direct in Cancer. And Cancer is the mother of the cosmology. It's about care. This is about being a warrior of care, freedom, of home, of family, of our home, planet Earth, and our one family of humanity and human kindness. And it's also about doing action for the goddess and letting the goddess lead. And then at the end of the month, and the end of the month really forecasts the next month and is the completion, we have the Pisces new moon. And, that's the end. Pisces is the end. And the new moon is the 0 point. And the physical world is probably going to feel quite scattered. The spiritual world's going to be wide open. We need to be gentle and sensitive and listening and getting and carried towards the equinox and the new astrological cycle and the 0 point and the eclipse window. And what's so beautiful about February is the last thing in the month. The last thing in the month is the grand alignment, where there are 7 planets in perfect alignment. We had 6 in January, and then there's 7. 7 planets, 7 chakras, 7-year cycles, everything is lined up. And that actually happens from the 22nd of February, so the former heart gateway, to the 4th of March, but it's most visible on the 28th of February at the end of the month. So this is a journey. If you read the sky, it's a journey into alignment. It's a healing, letting go, surrendering, expanding, illuminating journey of aligning self and soul, truth and life force, you and destiny. I mean, you can feel the energies of it. It's so ethereal and amazing. The eclipse window starts on the 14th of March. And so what do we think? What do we think of February 25? And then we'll do the snake activation. But I'd love to know what you guys think. Yeah. It's a really rare and really beautiful opportunity. And so and yeah, you got to listen. And what I will say is that if you're really resonating with this karmic end and this amazing passage that is going to happen and all of the things that 25 is promising, then I have what I think is going to be one of the most amazing landwork journeys of all time happening in March. Literally, it is happening to help usher in the karmic end and then the collective realignment. This is amazing. Like we are going to be doing all sorts of amazing things in Egypt, but for that karmic 0 point, for the end of the eclipse window, we are going to be in Dendara, which is the womb of Egypt itself. It's where goddess Isis was born, as the 0 point moment happens. And then we're going to be in another incredibly remote and unusual temple to goddess Hathor, a sun temple to goddess Hathor rather than a dark temple like Dendara is, the moon temple. And we're going to be there the night that Neptune moves into Aries, the night of the next planetary shift. And then we're going to be in the throat chakra of the world, helping to begin the rewiring of the throat to the heart that these planetary shifts are going to weave through between the March equinox and the September equinox. And so, honestly, like, I cannot tell you how epic the energy and the guidance of this initiation journey is. And I don't think I will ever hold another journey like it, because I don't think I will ever have such amazing cosmology and constellation, and because it's so magnificent, like to be in such incredible temples and places at such, such all the karma began in ancient Egypt, like it's full cycle. It's like there's nowhere more aligned with this karmic realignment journey than Egypt. And to be there in service to the mother at the 0 point moment, and then at the conception moment of the planet changing, it's just phenomenal. And so honestly, I have made it as affordable as you possibly can for Egypt. And there's no frills in it. Like it's just the journey, it's just the land ceremony, because we don't need anything else. Originally I had other stuff in it, and in a way, I feel like when I took that other stuff out, I understood that what I was doing was letting it just be truth. And that's what this year is about. And then the theme of the journey is receptivity. So it's about receiving because of truth. It's about receiving because it's true, not because of fancy things, And that's the pilgrimage that I've had to go on with this trip. But if you are called, come, because the guidance is like, no, everybody that's there is gonna come out of it next level. Like, you cannot not. You're in like you're in the moment of the karmic rebirth. And it's not even a rebirth into another karmic cycle. It's a rebirth out of a karmic cycle into a creational cycle. And as the earth's receiving the codes, you're going to receive the code of creation. And so it's amazing. And so come if you're called. And yeah, if it makes sense to you, if you get it, and this isn't gibberish, then come, because it's just going to be so sacred. Receiving is the opposite of rejection. Because rejection's just it's just receiving flowing backwards, flowing inside, um flowing in the wrong way. And this is why we have to remember to receive, because we've been rejecting, so much of February is about October. And I remember what October was all about. October, the guides were holding this love letters to the universe transmission. And they were like teaching how to receive the love that is all around us, the love that is. And so this is the journey, guys. It's why Egypt's called remembering receptivity, because we've got to stop rejecting and start receiving the divine that is happening. That is how we live the creation cycle and not the karmic cycle. And the year of the serpent is going to help us do that, because the serpent is receptivity. Which is receptivity for what is wrong as much as for what is right. She receives everything. She receives everything so that she knows the truth. And I just want to share with you, I was channeling yesterday on the first day of the month, and this might help some of you. I was channeling about some of the things that were going on in my life, and I was like, the guide that I was channeling said, if you project love onto others, then they will project shadow onto you. If you are projecting, you are not receiving. To love is to receive. And so every time we project love, we are creating shadow. It's time to learn to receive, and receive the truth, not the projection. I know. It was one of those moments I was like, what? You've just blown my... You've just blown my reality open. And so one of the ways in which the serpent can help us is to realign our chakras and to move them, because sometimes our chakric body is stuck in the projections of light and shadow and love and shadow. And what we actually need to do is receive rather than project. And so when you're ready, this is a practice you can do this month or this year of the snake, especially when you are projecting. And when you're ready, closing your eyes and opening your heart to Mother Gaia. And as you open your heart to Gaia, feel a grounding cord going down through all of the different layers of the earth, going down into, sorry, got a kid and interrupting magic once. Going down into the heart, the Great Mother, into the core crystal of love that is being overlighted by the archetype of the wooden snake. And just to say, the wooden is all about renewal as well. And as you anchor down into the core crystal of love, as you become aware of the archetype of the serpent, of the snake, feel her energy beginning to move your root chakra so that it swings left and right, esting in the same way. That the snake moves across the ground. And feel this swinging, this snaking, moving up into your sacral and then your solar plexus, and then up into your heart and up into your throat, and then your third eye and your crown, and feeling this swinging left and right, essing or snaking, happening through all of your central chakric system. Helping you to swing out of the projections, swinging your chakras out of the projections. They are focused on the vibrations that they are stuck inside of. And as this snake energy archetypes rhythmically through your central chakric system, Notice that you are becoming more vibrationally attuned. More sensitive to that which is yours. And that which is illusion. Feeling the energy of this movement, helping you to let go, to release, to realign, and to reinvigorate. These centers of your perception. As you swing in and out of alignment, until this swaying arrives in a place that is still and true and free, and experience your chakras open to the golden thread of the truth and the codes of your destiny. And choose to receive. That which you need to know now. Noticing how you feel as you breathe in love and breathe out gratitude. Breathe in love and breathe out gratitude. And the guide is saying that for those of you that feel lost in your sense of truth, that lose yourself to the projections of others or project rather than receive. This is a really, really good daily practice to do. See if this is recordable. If not, I will record one for you. Breathing in love and breathing out gratitude. Noticing how you feel, and when you're ready, opening your eyes and coming into the room. And sharing how you're doing. I would love to hear. I find that practice is really helping me since it came through this morning. Glad you're feeling alive and awake from it. The card I've pulled for us is the Three of Swords, which, you know, a friend of mine pulled this the other day and she was like, I love this card. I was like, do you? But what she was saying is it's about, you know, mind, body, and soul aligning in the heart. It's about the heartbreak that aligns you. And often the feeling of heartbreak is actually attachment breaking. And that is what February is about. And so I really hope Magic Month has been helpful to you. If you are feeling a buzz around Egypt, if you are feeling cool, please don't miss it. It's going to be epic. And I would like as many people there as possible because it's once in a karmic cycle. Amazing. And yeah, you can also, it's also a really super cool time to join the Life Force Cafe. The Life Force Cafe at the moment, which is only £22 a month, is so cool. We have amazing, like the last few things that have happened, like the Year of the Snake thing. Then we've got David coming in to do the astrology for 25. We've got all sorts of cool stuff going on in there. So think about joining the Life Force Cafe. And yeah, just thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for all that you are. And sending you all so much love.